I am convinced that kids who have the most confident decision, the most confident actions, are simply flowing from the secure identity that their parents gave to them. So it is no wonder that God the Father, at the very first public thing that Jesus did, his baptism, that God the Father spoke down to earth for everybody here to say, "This is my Son, of whom I am well pleased." What does God want to do with our life because of this? Here's what I think. I think that God wants to speak into every one of our lives and say, "This is my son, this is my daughter, of whom I am well pleased." That he wants us to have a secure identity as adopted children into his family. And those of us that may be hearing this that would say, "I'm not a child of God, I don't have faith in God." This is still the identity that God wants to give to you through faith. And some of us may push back and say, "Man, even though, yeah, I have faith in God and I'm forgiven, my actions aren't always up to par with that." Well, let's just point back to our earthly relationships with our sons and our daughters. Even though we may not be pleased as parents with the actions of our sons and daughters, we still need to be speaking into and securing the identity, the core identity of our sons and daughters. And this is what God wants to do in our life. That no matter what our actions are, good, bad, or ugly, that God wants us to hear, "You are my son, you are my daughter, of whom I am well pleased." We'll deal with actions as they need to be dealt with, but your core identity, I am pleased with because you are my son, you are my daughter. And let us walk forward in confident action because God is speaking securely into the identity that we have.